you guys trying to take over the game? I only see your content out there. Like, I don't know what Sage Intacct and your partnership is, but either you're just out producing and the other consultants are like, dadgummit, they already have a great video out there.
So we published our first video in 2009.
Okay.
That's when YouTube was 2 years old.
Okay.
Okay. So, and I remember Kevin Edgington, he's been with us for 38 years now, and he's our estimating guru. So we sell a product called Sage Estimating and have since like 1987.
Okay.
And so we were like, yeah, let's put this out there, you know? And like, I think your first video has like 45,000 views, which is like our peak. Yeah. We don't go beyond that. Yeah. But it was, you know, we started doing that and then we took a gap. I started another company with my dad, who's the co-founder. Him and my grandpa co-founded the company back in 1983.
Okay.
And Justine and I, you know, we cleaned the offices. We had a whole, you know, slew of childhood tasks like stuffing envelopes and all that kind of stuff. And I think both of us didn't, you know, we thought we weren't going to join the family company, you know?
Never thought I would.
Ever.
I would have an architect.
Okay, yeah.
And then about 2016, 17, you know, really the opportunity was kind of opening up again in this business. And so we felt like, okay, let's take a look at this and strategically, you know, just change the game, really.
Interesting.
So, you know, YouTube was a huge thing for us because, so our goal is knowledge autonomy for our customers, for you.
Okay.
Like, we want you to know as much about the software as you can.
That's great. Yes.
And so that was the whole premise behind starting our YouTube and getting our consultants to do content. Because Kurt asked us a question. He said, why are we charging for everything we charge for? And that was a good question. You know, I mean, before in the old model, you know, we charged, it was like, you know, $195 an hour or whatever. So if you wanted to know how to run an AP invoice in Sage Intacct, we'd charge you for however long that took. Yeah. And there you go. And if you forget, or if your team forgets, then we got to do that again. And then you're going to get charged again. And so we were like, there's got to be a better way to do this. And so we started with YouTube and we kind of migrated to our platform. But it took a lot of effort. Really. Yeah. It took a ton of effort. You know,
it's a great model because on the one hand, you don't have to keep repeating the same answers. You know, hopefully you're knocking down the amount of questions coming in.
Yes.
They can get it themselves. So that's sustainable. And two, it's kind of like the unlimited meals cafeteria model. You know, people are like, I can access this every day. I can send in an unlimited amount of questions. You're not going to use it all, but you can still, it's still a better win-win.
Well, so it came from our own experience. So I implemented all of our, in 2018, I came into the business and my task was to basically overhaul our tech stack. Okay. And, you know, we had like 5 different systems we were working in. We were paying like $5,000 a month for a server nobody was using. I mean, ridiculous, right? $30,000 a year for WebEx, you know, just a whole, you know, sort of, because nobody was paying attention to it. And so the systems that we implemented all had very well laid out, you know, help guides and tutorials and instructionals. And I said, this is what we need to be doing. And so that transformed into ultimately what's become Ask Richard, which is, you know, our platform, because I was working, you know, when I could. I had other things to do aside from, you know, migrating our tech stack. So if I could hop on at 6 o'clock at night and do some tutorials and, you know, and learn about it, then I could. So we wanted to offer that same level of service to our customers, but then kind of sort of plus it up, as Brett Hodson, one of our sales guys, always says. He's been with us for 38 years as well. You know, he had this whole thing about Disney and how Disney plussed, you know, his whole thing was plussing something up. Okay. So you take it to the next level. Yes. And so that's what we did with the live classes, you know, and the daily Q&As. We wanted there to be, you know, more interaction. So, I mean, do you feel like you were able to interact with our team a lot?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it actually took me a little bit to figure out that it almost seemed like there was equal, like, hey, we want to help you. You know, don't spend 2 days trying to figure this out. Hop on the Q&A,
Yes.
We can help you in 5 minutes.
Yes.
So once I figured that out, I really started getting a lot out of it.
That's awesome. But yeah, I mean, like the reality of our situation was we had 90% turnover in our staff when we started this process. Change isn't for everybody. And what we were doing was really radically different, so you're taking somebody, folks who have for years, they provided a huge contributors, but they didn't want to, change from what they were doing. And, but that brought in people like Mike and Lisa and Sarah and, Boyan from our team, because they saw, okay, this is where I want to be. And everybody is just, they have just knocked it out of the park,
How have you hired these people? I think I've interacted with, in addition to those you mentioned, George.
Yep, George.
Crystal,
yep.
And is there Nicole or no? Someone adjusted my AIA billing. She's kind of I'm trying to think who it was.
Even Sarah, Lisa.
Wasn't Sarah or Lisa? No, not Sarah. She was young.
Oh, Tori,
yes. McCullough or Tori, yes.
Tori, yes. Yeah, and so, organically, we went, I'm telling you, so back in 2022 was really where we did like a hard shift. Hey, we're going this way. We stopped sales for 6 months. We didn't sell a single new system.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Where we retooled everything. Where we built the learning management, where we built out the classes and the structure and all of this kind of thing. And so, before that time, we were paying recruiters $25,000 or $30,000 just to hire a single person.
Yeah.
And that was really tough because, in that environment, the recruiter wants to sell. And so it was hit or miss whether or not they would align with the model that we were going for. And so when we just started publishing about this in the industry, it attracted folks like, okay, I'm on board with this. This is something that's sustainable. Because for half the year, we go to a 4-day work week.
Yeah.
So it's like, never in my wildest dreams would have imagined that would have been possible. But because these folks, they found us, they said, this is what I want to do. And that was also part of Kurt's vision too. It was just, he's like, I want us to be a shop where people say, I want to work for you guys. I want to work there. And we've succeeded. So
that's great.
Yeah.
When do you meet with your team? How do you meet with your team? What are you doing?
We meet weekly as a whole company. It's called a level 10.
So you run the EOS model?
We run EOS,
okay.
Yep. So we run EOS. We were really hardcore about it from 2019 to like 2023 or so. I think we hit such a good stride that we have things like quarterly planning. We put rocks on the table, but we don't really do like individual metrics, for instance. In our business, it just became a little bit too toxic.
Yeah, I get that.
Where especially in the build hour model, where it's like, okay, now we have the consultants competing for, who can bill the most hours, and it just wasn't healthy. It wasn't promoting the right things.
Yeah.
And so we kind of dropped the scorecard, but we have a level 10 every week. We get together as a company. We talk about customer success. We talk about customers who may be having some challenges. We talk about, everybody goes around and does their personal best and their business best. Are you guys on EOS?
Yeah, we run EOS.
Awesome. How long have you, since you've been here, or?
They brought on EOS 5 years ago.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You like it?
Oh, I'm a big EOS believer. I'm not familiar with a ton of the operating models out there. I just know strength of personality model and EOS.
Yes.
And it's been great. We just recently stopped scoring meetings, and we went from 1.5 hour L10s to 1 hour L10s just to kind of help us focus a little bit. But
that worked really well for us.
Okay.
We went to 1 hour, and that's like the perfect amount of time.
Yeah.
And sometimes we even end, like the one that we had, it's on Tuesdays, every Tuesday. I think that was like 40 minutes, So we're not like, we got to stay on for an hour. It's like we get on, we IDS, we list the issues out, we talk about them, we get done and move on. So
You can tell that because I felt like there was good continuity. We had a problem with one of our retainage billing. So when we would put out retainage, it wouldn't go out as an AIA doc, which we've invoiced the customer now 4 pay apps, 4 AIA docs. Yep. And the retainage one would come in as just this random invoice. And they're like, hey, is there a way we can show, we've earned this work? And several people were aware of it. And they said, oh, we've heard another customer had that problem 2 weeks ago. And somebody else on the team ended up helping resolve it. I think it's Sarah. And so you can tell there's continuity. Issues get bubbled up to the top. So you can feel that.
Yeah, they do. I mean, and I think leadership for us is just super hands-on too. I mean, and not in the sense of like we're watching, like not that way. But if there's an issue, I'm going to dive into it. If there's an issue Boyne can handle, he's going to dive into it. If there's an issue that Kurt needs to step in, he's going to. Justine, she's going to. I mean, we're just all on the same page.
Yeah.
And that makes such a huge difference. And before EOS, it was just murky. Everybody kind of had their own ideas.
Yeah.
And their own sort of leadership strategies, and not everybody was on the same page. And that just didn't lead to a cohesive team. And when you're running a system like we run, everybody has to be on that same page because sort of one bogey in it all, has the potential to derail a customer or to derail a process with, multiple. So.
Yeah, that's interesting. I am not surprised you're running EOS.
Yeah, that's cool.
You can tell. So good for you. Good for you guys.
That's awesome. I mean, it's hands down, it's the team for us. I mean, they have brought all of this stuff to life. Kurt set the vision. I've been, sort of, I call it myself kind of the glue is just bringing together the right people to do the right things, and then just trusting them and letting them run with it. And no idea is a stupid idea around Bangert.
Who's the integrator? Who's the visionary?
I'm the integrator.
Okay.
My dad's the visionary.
Okay.
It works pretty well. We have our disagreements, but every visionary integrator does. Yes. So. Do
you use a consultant for your quarterly still, or did you drop that?
We dropped that. We graduated. Yes. Yeah. I think that's what they call it, graduation.
Yeah, and that's another. Props to EOS. They don't try to keep you forever. They're like, yeah, you've outgrown us, run it.
Absolutely. I still think, from time to time, not every year, but we'll hire our guy back to do our annual just because it's kind of just, if we feel like we need a reset. But honestly, the past couple of years, it's just been so fluid that we don't feel like we need it. I was terrified when he's like, oh yeah, your next quarterly you're going to do. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think we can do it. But, here we are and we've been successful with it.
Yes. Yes, we have.
Awesome. Well, that's all I got. I know you kind of interviewed me there.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so. Not surprised. Are you guys? This is maybe more off camera stuff, but are you profitable? Business is good.
Yeah, we're more profitable now than we ever have been.
You took 6 months off sales, so you took a major risk.
Yep.
But with risk, either comes a crash or payoff. So good.
Yeah, we figured we've probably invested around $2.5 million, a little bit over, into the whole structure of it. And so, I mean, because Ask Richard, we developed that in house, and that's a whole platform that we developed.
Yeah.
And we're doing version 2 right now, and so we're continuously evolving it. It's not like a set it and forget it mentality.
Yeah.
But that really comes from Kurt. I mean, and it comes from my grandpa and Justine's grandpa. I mean, he did put a second mortgage out on the house to start the business in 1983, and that same sort of calculated risk mentality, is very clear with my dad. But the other thing about it too, though, is that he knew something had to change. The way that we were doing it is not sustainable. It's not healthy for people. We don't have the personalities where we're, competitive from a capitalistic standpoint or whatever. But, it's just, we just felt like it was the right thing to do.
Feels like you guys were a little bit ahead of the game on that. So, I mean, I'd find super old videos from Mike, and then I'd find a modern one, with the latest updates. And so that's kind of cool to see.
I bet you've probably noticed, like, oh yeah, like it's fun to watch the team, like like I remember Lisa's first video.
Okay.
And she was like, I don't think I did very good. And then like now she does a video and it's like awesome.
Yeah.
You know? So it takes that little bit of, you know, like getting to that point.
There's one guy, I shouldn't put him on blast like this. I'm sure he does a great job.
Yeah.
But he's like notorious for, and I'm laughing usually, I'm not frustrated by it. But he's like, well, apparently I didn't set this, or someone else didn't set it up right for this demo, but you get the picture. You know, like he's like clicking through it, and I'm like, what do you mean didn't set it up for the demo? Like, well, actually.
There was a guy, Lynn, that helped us initially build out a lot of the content.
Maybe it's one of those,
yeah. And
he made some funny comments. I liked his.
yeah, he was always really
like he's from the South.
yeah. His
Alabama or something.
Yeah.
he had a very good delivery. And so now we're on, like, they're revising all of the content and deployment because one of the main feedback we've gotten from customers is that, like, maybe it's too much that we have in there to a certain degree. I don't know if you experience that or not, but
You seem like a very detailed.
Yeah,
so
I can. You can't absorb it all at once, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But you just got to keep coming back, you know. so I don't know.
But, you know, it just keeps getting better because of, you know, folks like you who provide us feedback. So I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down with Justine, I think, and, you know, providing her some feedback on just the whole sales process and all that kind of stuff. Because, you know, we're just continually evolving it, and that really matters to us.
Good. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys for sure. We're recipients of you guys being a great company. So
Awesome. That's great. Well, thanks, Matt.
You're welcome.
Cool. See you.